June 2nd, everybody. It is Thursday. It is your afternoon show. This is the HotSpot. I'm Jason Salas, and here's what we're working on today.
The menu, brought to you by King's Restaurant, always open, always local, and Ruby Tuesday Guam, home of the fresh garden bar.
Your Thursday menu is thus: a pair of detainees have escaped the Department of Corrections. They did so this morning. We'll give you the very latest. The governor is taking time off to recuperate after having shortness of breath and persistent coughing on Tuesday evening. And June, of course, is Pride Month. We'll give you details to all of this month's events. Well, more inmates have escaped from the Department of Corrections. This marks 4 detainees since last November who have managed to break free from the facility in Mangilao. At around 6:24 this morning, an officer assigned to the isolation unit reported 2 detainees, T.K. Umalap and Joluo Soikin, were missing. The former was apprehended just before 7 at Dairy Mart in Mangilao, but Soikin remains on the loose. Soikin was arrested on May 24th after police seized 341 grams of meth from his car. They also discovered a knife, a hatchet, a machete, and over $300 in cash. If you have any information, please call the Department of Corrections. Their number is 671-734-3981, or the Guam Police Department. Their number, of course, always 475-8615 or 16. Well, the commotion at PSAO Parking Lot over the weekend has already yielded shooters in the chaos, and 3 men who allegedly swung machetes, damaged vehicles, and even chased a person were arrested on Tuesday. As a result, and out of safety for its park patrons, the Department of Parks and Rec will close the PSAO East parking lot to the general public on Fridays and weekends from sundown until sunup until further notice. Use of the areas will be restricted to permitted events only. Parks and Rec Director Rocky Alcantara said that law enforcement, to include GPD and Park Patrol, will be conducting routine patrols of the park area. The governor hopes to return back to work in the next few days after being diagnosed with an infection which caused respiratory issues on Tuesday. Quoting her now, "I look forward to getting back to the office in the next few days and continuing the important work for our island," she said on Facebook on Wednesday. We initially reported that the island's chief executive started experiencing coughing and shortness of breath issues during a scheduled debate on Tuesday. She sought medical attention shortly thereafter. The governor is taking time off to recuperate. She says, "I am now well on the road to recovery with treatment and bed rest." Our island's Magahaga expressed gratitude to all who helped her get back. She adds, "To the men and women of GMH, thank you for your extraordinary dedication to providing exceptional care. To the people of Guam, your prayers and love have been sincerely heard and felt. The community's passion," she continues to write, "and humanity is something surely to celebrate." She says thank you from the bottom of our heart. Elsewhere this afternoon, with soaring prices of gas, food, and utilities, how are your island residents coping? Daniel Perez spoke to a few of your neighbors to get their 2 cents on the issue.
There's a worry hanging over Talafofo resident Tiana Sakaba's head. As a single mother, she's already feeling the squeeze of the price of living on Guam.
With everything going up nowadays, it's just hard to get from point A to point B.
From gas to food and now even utilities skyrocketing to an alarming rate, Sakaba is just one resident struggling to keep up.
So, coming up here to spend family time is definitely a must for me, and being able to do that with my daughter and her cousins, but with the gas being over $6, it definitely does affect us a great deal, just with spending and what we need to spend on.
And many more sacrifices must be made. Sakaba said she's cut out most of the unnecessary activities in her life, including dining out.
The power and water going up, the cost of food, everything does affect us. We try our best to help each other out as much as we can. But I would say, we just do our best.
Agat resident James Bell understands that some increases to the cost of living are justifiable, including gas, which he says is an international commodity.
But some things are not so justified. I think some businesses are taking advantage of this to raise prices and just make a little extra money while they can. We know some people who are really pretty poor, and the young lady just got a job and it's making maybe $600 a month, and they took half of her food stamps, $300 and some odd dollars of her food stamps away. I mean, why would you even want to get a job if they're going to take half of your salary away right off the top?
Bell said it's a difficult time for everyone with the pandemic still around, and both he and Sakaba are hopeful for some relief soon. Daniel Perez reporting for KUAM News.
From the national beat, the White House announced new steps for getting more infant formula into stores. The rush was to increase supply, and it's put a spotlight on an industry newcomer. Here's more.
More relief is on the way from overseas on the heels of 2 deliveries from Europe. The Biden administration announced shipments of baby formula will arrive from Australia this month, amounting to 4.5 million bottles. Another 3.5 million will arrive from the UK. Those shipments will help ease the shortage across the nation, including in Dearborn, Michigan, where the city hosted an emergency distribution.
They are providing formula to as many families as possible.
A product tracking company says by late May, the out-of-stock rate had hit nearly 70% nationwide.
Congress has scrambled to address the problem, both investigating how it got to this point and pushing for more funding for the FDA for its oversight of the formula industry.
There's nothing more stressful than the feeling you can't get what your child needs.
At the White House, President Biden led a virtual roundtable of executives from leading formula manufacturers. That included the startup ByHeart, which just received a $1.75 million commitment from Pennsylvania's governor to help it expand among the handful of companies that now dominate the U.S. market.
When we launched just now in March of this year, we became one of just 5 infant formula manufacturers in this country.
Notably absent from the White House meeting was Abbott Nutrition. The company has been at the center of the crisis since its Michigan plant shut down over safety concerns earlier this year. Skylar Henry reporting for KUAM News.
And in local healthcare news, Public Health reported Wednesday 81 new COVID cases out of 989 samples. 8 of those were through the DOD. There are 9 people with COVID hospitalized on Guam, according to the Joint Information Center, 3 at GMH, 5 at GRMC, and 1 at Naval Hospital. Of those in the hospital, 8 are vaccinated against the deadly virus, while 1 is not. There have been more than 49,000 people that have contracted the virus. 363 people have passed away in our island community. Well, please stay tuned, my friends. Coming up on HotSpot, June is, of course, Pride Month, and it all kicks off today with a proclamation signing and wave downtown in the capital. Lasia Casil is in studio, and we'll tell you all about it next.
Subscribe to our KOAM News Digest, our weekly email newsletter with all kinds of information straight to your inbox. Just subscribe and we'll make sure to keep you informed and entertained with news from the KOAM News team, what to watch on NBC and CBS, and the latest promotions from KOAM Communications. Go to KOAM.com, click on the newsletter tab at the top of the homepage, register, and you're all set. Brought to you by Uno Go, Guam on Demand.
Welcome back, everybody, to HotSpot. We are streaming live on YouTube, on Facebook, and of course, we're coming to you on KUM TV. And June, my friends, is Pride Month. It's Pride Month all over the country now, with it being officially June in the mainland. And to kick things off, there's a proclamation signing this afternoon locally, and today there will be a wave taking place. Joining me now is Equality Guam co-founder Lasia Casil, who has all the details. Lasia, welcome back. You have been a leading voice, a member of the LGBT community, someone who has dedicated your life to helping teaching Guam in general about, inclusivity, about diversity and everything like that. And we are so in your honor for doing that. And I know you brought something extra special today to commemorate Pride Month. Happy Pride, by the way.
Happy Pride. I just wanted to share this with the viewers. This is the transgender flag that I have made with the symbol of Guam, and I actually have it signed here at the bottom by Monica Helms. Monica Helms was the designer of the transgender flag in the 80s, and she's also a Navy veteran who served on the USS Flasher and the USS Francis Scott Key submarines, and was stationed here in Guam in the 70s. When she was presenting as male. So there is a connection here, and I just wanted to point that out between the transgender flag and Guam.
That is beautiful. That is really, really nice. And of course, you were telling me off camera, there are many copies of this and everything. Where will we be able to see the pride flags being flown throughout the month?
Today we actually have a proclamation by the Lieutenant Governor happening at 3:30 p.m. at Chief Kapua next to Chamorro Village. So please join us at 3:30 p.m. and then we'll segue right into the Pride Wave from 4 to 6 p.m. Bring your flags, bring your colorful outfits, and join us in celebrating Pride and our community here.
It's a static wave where everybody kind of passes by
honking your horns.
Because I remember in past, there's been a Pride parade where the community would all walk like together. I mean, it's unbelievably amazing. I mean, it's just such a feeling of joy and of love, and I mean, you can really feel the spirit.
Yes, we do have some other events planned for this month. I believe on the 28th we have a panel of LGBTQ people from our community who will be speaking out and sharing their experiences, and it'll be a wide range of students, teachers, people from the government. We also have a volleyball tournament that we're trying to schedule with Team Umiti, who is the local LGBTQ volleyball team, and they had won gold in the Gay Olympics a few years ago. I know that every Thursday the House of Diosa is putting on a special Pride performance every week with a different theme, and we're going to announce all these things on our Facebook page so people know the exact date and time and where they can participate.
And what is the Facebook page so everybody can follow it right now if they aren't already?
Oh, we have the Guam Pride Facebook page as well as the Equality Guam Facebook page.
Now, can we break down for people who may not know, like what is the genesis of Pride Month? When did it officially become, a recognized event? And when did we start, celebrating as we do on Guam?
Yes, it's very, very important. Thank you for asking that. This month is used to commemorate LGBTQ, the uprising in New York during Stonewall in 1969. There was a gay club in the West Village in New York called Stonewall, and it was continuously violated, invaded by the police, harassed by the police, the people that would frequent this club, the drag queens, the transgender people, the gay people, the lesbian people. And on this particular date, I believe it's June 28th, they had just had enough of being beaten and tormented, and they fought back, and there were riots for several days, and they fought back against the police, and this is considered the modern day launching point for the LGBTQ rights movement. And so we come together during this month to remember and commemorate all of those that came before us, Marsha P. Johnson, all those leaders who sacrificed their lives so that we can have some of the rights that we have today. We come together this month to celebrate, all those things and to remember that there's still many, many more challenges that we have to overcome. There's so much going on, especially the past year with anti-LGBTQ legislation in the States. You've seen the Don't Say Gay bill being passed in Florida, and that's being copycatted. It's now in Texas, now Oklahoma, and it's landed on our shores here with the schools banning transgender athletes from participating in sports.
Now, Guam has always had, our familial structure and everything like that. There's always been the presence of respect and of love. And the one thing that I've always so much appreciated about Pride Month is it's not, if you're not a member of the LGBT community, it's like a little private party, and like when everybody's like celebrating. If you're not a part of that community, then you're kind of like out. Everyone is welcome, and you have done so much, you and your colleagues, in embracing like other people that want to come and want to march or want to stand with you and just want to show our support and everything. So I mean, it really is an inclusive event that really bridges the whole community.
It is. It's all about inclusivity and creating safe spaces for our LGBTQ youth, our allies, the families of LGBTQ youth, the parents, There are a lot of us in this community that didn't get that support, that were thrown out by their families, that are homeless, that are suffering from discrimination. They turn to alcohol or drugs or commit suicide or murdered. So we just want the young people to know that we are working hard to create a safe space for you. We love you, we support you, we recognize you.
Normally, like when I have people on the show and if we're asking about an organization, I'd say how many members have you? But do you have any rough maybe ballpark estimate of how large the LGBT community is here on Guam? Because I mean it's growing every day, and that's an absolutely wonderful thing to see, that young people who are in in midlife, people at any walk in life and everything like that can say, you know what, I make the choice to identify a certain way, or I want to live my life a certain way, and I should be embraced for it and everything. So how many people, by your estimates?
Well, I just want to correct you on something, Jason,
yes,
because
please.
It's not a choice.
Okay.
We're born this way.
Thank you.
Right?
Okay.
It's not a choice. You didn't choose to be straight, right? You were born straight, or whatever, whoever's out there. You didn't choose to identify as a woman. You're born that way. So it's not like we're growing exponentially. We already exist in the community. The fact is that many of us have been hiding in the closet for so many years because of the discrimination, because of the hatred and the bigotry. And so what we see now is people coming out of the closet. It's not like you just became gay. It's those safe spaces that we're creating that makes them feel comfortable to actually come out and say who they are and how they identify and how they feel. And since we started Guam Pride in 2016, we have seen our events double in size every year because people are feeling more comfortable about being who they are.
Strength in numbers,
Exactly.
Yeah.
And now we have the first ever elected openly gay lieutenant governor in our nation's history. That just gives us
Shout out
more
Justin Nora.
support. Yes. And we have a great administration that supports us. We just rose up on Adelup yesterday, the transgender and the pride flags. This is the first time those flags have ever been flown during an administration.
Let me ask you, how does that make you feel? Because you've lived in so many parts of the world. You've seen the treatment or mistreatment, I guess, of the LGBTQ community, and then you've done so much legislatively, making public appearances, literally crying tears with people who are going through some very, very tough times, trying to empathize with them, sharing your own experience, offering love and support. To stand there and the symbolic nature of being able to raise the flag and see members of your community, flying high as equals and everything. What does that mean to you? Not just symbolically, but emotionally.
It's instilled confidence in me, and I know members of our community, and representation matters. And I think it gives us the power to go out and reach out to other members of our community and show them that, hey, you know what? Here are role models, positive role models, which I didn't have growing up. Many of our LGBTQ youth, in the 80s and 70s and 90s, we did not have those positive role models.
Yeah, you walked your journey for a long time alone.
Yes.
That's a very scary thing to do.
But I'll tell you honestly, Jason, that this past year has been very, very difficult. It's been one of the hardest years, actually. And
please explain.
I'm going to hit the big 5-0 next year, and because of all the anti-LGBTQ legislation that's been going on, because of all the hatred and bigotry and the emboldenedness from the previous Trump administration, I have never felt as discriminated or bullied since high school. The past year.
And this is going back to the 80s when the world was a much different place.
Right.
When the words that we would use, not from a place of hate or a place of discrimination, just because that's what everybody said back there. And I'm not even going to say those words because everybody knows what I'm talking about. But those words have thankfully been eliminated from the lexicon. But even as crazy as those days were, you're saying now is even worse.
I feel that, I have a tough skin. I've lived.
Damn right. I know you well enough. I mean, you have gone head to head with some some very, very heavy stuff.
Yeah. And the average lifespan of a trans person is 35 years old. They commit suicide, they turn to drugs, to alcohol, they're thrown out by their family, and by 35, most trans people are dead, murdered, whatever. And all that starts in their youth, when they're being discriminated against, when they're being bullied, when they're being told that they shouldn't exist, they shouldn't be allowed to play sports, they shouldn't be allowed to participate. And now I see that happening here on this island, where we have leaders, you know, in our community that are speaking out against our community. You know, they use their platforms on the radio, on TV, and I'm talking about Bob Klitsky, I'm talking about Ron McNinch, and I will name them out. You know, bullying children. And that's what it comes down to. When you write an op-ed piece, you know, talking about wanting to go back to the days when boys were boys and girls were girls, you know, I mean, back in those days, women didn't have rights, right? There was separate but equal. So is that what you want to go back to? Is when the predominant force was single white male, you know, people. Look at the presidency. How many, look at the diversity of that. We've had one black president in 200 years.
Exactly.
Right. So I hear that now on the radio. I hear that. I see it every day when I open the newspaper, being discriminated. And like I said, my show is starting to feel like a little cracked. You know, I'm thick-skinned. You know, I've dealt with this. Can you imagine what our youth is feeling like?
But you realize that's what the people who would stand against you and your haters, if you will, that's what whoever it is they're going for and everything like that.
Right.
But what we are here to talk about today is to come together as a community to be strong.
Exactly.
And again, strength in numbers. So okay, so now that we've given that some context, we only got a minute left. We also want to talk about the fact that this is a celebration. It's a coming together of love, but there is a very prescient need to fight.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, this is the month when we come together and we support each other and we embrace each other and we remember the challenges that we've overcome. All of those that have lost their lives. We had a whole generation of gay men lose their lives during the 80s with the HIV epidemic.
Yep.
And we want to remember them and celebrate also that we have a bright future.
Okay, so again, there's going to be a proclamation signing today, and we want to actually shine light on the celebration part of it, because we want people to go there without any fear of being judged.
It's a safe space.
Exactly, and it's a wonderful space. I mean, I've been to several, and it is a wonderful gathering of emotion. But like you said, you know, I mean, you do talk about the struggle continues.
Yes.
The fight must continue.
Yes, absolutely.
But love will continue.
Yes.
That is the one incontrovertible truth. I mean, that is inarguable and everything like that. Love will prevail.
Love is love. Yes.
Yeah. And it has before. You know, love wins.
So yes, please join us today at 3:30 at Chief Kapua Park for the proclamation signing, and then from 4 to 6 we have the Pride Wave.
The Pride Wave. How many people do you expect to come out at the Pride Wave? What time should people show up?
I think 3:15.
That's a good time.
Yeah, that's a good time. Park, and then we'll have actually safety officers there to help them cross the street. And then afterwards, we're going to go over to Skinner Plaza because we have the food trucks there this afternoon.
Outstanding. Okay,
Yes.
well, Lassie, tell you what, let's look into camera 3. Could we show the flag once more? I would like to hold that with you.
Yes.
Just as a symbol,
Here we go.
metaphorical and literal, because KUAM celebrates Pride over here. Pride Month is always something that's very, very wonderful for us. You know, we stand with you. We always have and we always will.
Yes, thank you so
Happy
much.
Pride,
Happy
everybody.
Pride, everyone.
Thank you so much, Lassia, for your guidance, for your leadership, but also for celebrating this experience with all of us and allowing us to share it with you. Happy Pride, everybody.
Happy Pride.
Please stay tuned because
Viva
HotSpot
Pride.
Viva Pride. HotSpot will continue right after this.
Get up-to-the-minute news, plus access to alerts, streaming radio, promotions, and more on your mobile device by downloading the KUAM News mobile app, available at the App Store now.
Subscribe to our KOAM News Digest, our weekly email newsletter with all kinds of information straight to your inbox. Just subscribe and we'll make sure to keep you informed and entertained with news from the KOAM News team, what to watch on NBC and CBS, and the latest promotions from KOAM Communications. Go to KOAM.com, click on the newsletter tab at the top of the homepage, register, and you're all set. Brought to you by Uno Go, Guam on Demand.
All right, my friends, because it is Thursday, it's time for Properties in Paradise, and we take you to Tamuning for a very, very wonderful property.
Properties in the Tropics is presented by RE/MAX Diamond Realty.
Half a day, I'm Madeline Campos.
And Sam Regis.
And you're watching
Properties in the Tropics. Real estate investment can be very lucrative if executed properly, and our island of Guam can certainly be a hotspot for those real estate opportunities. Being so close by, investors from Asia frequent our beautiful island seeking such possibilities. Military members and our local community are often in the hunt for a turnkey income-producing rental property, or at times a fixer-upper for a possible quick flip like such. Pacific Towers, one of Guam's most seasoned fee-simple condo buildings, is tucked away on Marine Corps Drive, across the road from Denny's in Tamuning. Pacific Towers is comprised of A, B, and C towers, offering a swimming pool, basketball court, mail delivery, and a quaint little play area. C504 is a rare availability of 3 beds and 1 bath. This fixer-upper is currently listed at $175,000. It comes with 2 parking stalls and an HOA of $358 per month, covering insurance, water, and general maintenance.
With little paint and a lot of TLC, the possibilities for a flip can be endless. For example, Unit B301 is a renovated unit and currently has a lease at $2,400 a month with furniture and utilities. Our number 1 tip for successful real estate investing: hire an agent you can trust at an agency with a name that you can rely on. And the rest, it will fall into place. We will guide you through Guam's current market conditions, be an outlet of resources, and market your new investment to garner that utmost visibility. If you'd like to learn more about real estate investing and the hotspots Guam has to offer, whether land, commercial properties, single-family homes, or condos, with RE/MAX Diamond Realty's over 30 years of industry knowledge and timeless wealth of experience, you have us on your side. Outstanding agents, outstanding results. That's us, Madeline Campos
and Sam Regis, RE/MAX Diamond Realty.
Join us next time for another episode of
Properties in the Tropics.
Properties in the Tropics is presented by RE/MAX Diamond Realty.
All right, once again, everybody, Lacio is here. Lacio, would you like to say goodbye for the show since it is Pride Month and everything? I'd like to give you the honor.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you to all the viewers for tuning in. Thank you for supporting Pride this month, and we hope to see you. Thank you to KUAM for supporting us.
All right, we'll see you at the Wave.
See you at the Wave.
All right, bye-bye. Have a good afternoon, everybody. Have a good lunch.